I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, and all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Daffodils was how I got to know about the English poet William Wordsworth. I studied his work for literature in the primary school back in Sri Lanka. And when my friends and I decided to travel to Lake District for a short break this summer, in my head, I travelled back to my childhood. I am a bibliophile. Even as a child, I really loved to sit in my little corner and get lost in the world of books, stories, poetry, and beautiful creative imagination. That is a habit I carried from childhood into my adulthood. So here I am in the Lake District this summer, holidaying with my friends in this untouched forest land. It's summer, so the trees are proudly draped in rich green leaves. Birds are chirping from branch to branch. Crickets are creating a choir in the forest, and the emerald water of the Lake Windermere was sparkling in the summer sun. So here I am in Lake District, in the homeland of the poet William Wordsworth. Windermere is a mile inland at the northern tip of the Lake Windermere. Lake Windermere is a ribbon lake among the Cumbrian mountains, and it is the largest lake in England by length and volume. Today I'm going to Grasmere to see the house of William Wordsworth. By taking this longest and the slowest possible route by ferry and by foot, I get to enjoy a lot more of the countryside in my journey. The village of Windermere does not actually touch the lake shore. The only village that directly touches the lake shore is Bowness on Windermere, where we got the ferry from. Now we're in Ambleside, which is the next village. This tiny house in Ambleside is one of the most photographed places in Cumbria. Actually, it used to be an apple store for the Ambleside village, and it was built over a bridge to escape the land tax. From Ambleside village, my journey to Grasmere, where the Wordsworth Museum is, will be on foot. So, come along and walk with me. Once upon a time, William Wordsworth was born among these mountains in the Lake District. He was the second of 5 children. He lost his mother when he was 7 and his father when he was 13. The children were separated and sent off to the distant relatives. William was sent to Hawkshead in the Lake District, and he loved growing up among the lakes. He received a very good education there. In 1795, Wordsworth was reunited with his sister Dorothy, and they were together for the rest of their lives. Under the healing influence of his sister Dorothy and the poetic influence by the fellow poet Samuel Coleridge, Wordsworth's poetry grew, and it became short, lyrical, and very dramatic, for which he would be remembered in the decades to come. Wordsworth spent most of his life in the countryside and among the nature, observing, studying, and writing poetry. The Solitary Reaper by William Wordsworth. Behold her, single in the field, yon solitary Highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. Stop here, oh, gently pass. Alone she cuts and binds the grain, and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the vale profound is overflowing with the sound. No nightingale did ever chaunt more welcome notes to weary bands of travellers in some shady haunt among Arabian sands. A voice so thrilling never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the furthest Hebrides. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old, unhappy, far-off things, and battles long ago, or is it some more humble lay, familiar matter of today, some natural sorrow, loss or pain that had been and may be again? Whatever the theme, the maiden sang as if a song could have no ending. I saw her singing at her work and over the sickle bending. I listened, motionless and still, and as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. My first English teacher taught me that poem of The Solitary Reaper by William Wordsworth. I was in Sri Lanka then, and she was in her 60s, and she was a small lady with a wide, warm smile always. I remember her house. It was in Nugegoda, but in the middle of the city heat, the inside of her house was so cozy and cool. She had a little water feature inside the house with a little pond around it. In that pond, I remember there was a little tortoise, and I used to play with it. I think I was about 7 or 8 years at the time, and I could still hear her voice singing me the song of the Solitary Reaper. She introduced me to English literature and poetry. She was so passionate about poetry. I saw how much joy it brought her. I think I was only about 7 or 8 at the time. Fast forwarding 4 decades later, my English teacher is no more. She passed away about 20 years ago. But the memories of poetry, literature, and the stories of the Solitary Reaper I'm still carrying with me. And here I am in the land and the house of the man who wrote about the Solitary Reaper. As I came out of Wordsworth's house, I found this little robin in the garden. Robins symbolize happiness, joy, and the ending of something old with the promise of a new beginning. Also, there's that old saying, when robins appear, loved ones are near. Knowledge and education is like a flame you use to brighten your own life. Then you use your flame to light up someone else's candle, with the hope that it'll brighten their lives too, and hopefully someday they will pass on that flame to the next generation, long after you're gone. With my charity projects, Sunday school, and all the other teaching opportunities, I try to pass that flame on too. In some small way I can. I'm very grateful for my English teacher and all the wonderful teachers I had in my life. I'm carrying the lessons they taught me deep in my heart. The music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of the bay. 10,000s I saw at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a joyous company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood, there flash upon that inward eye which is the bliss of solitude, and then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils.